In the year 1692, in the isolated village of Salem, Massachusetts, life was ruled by faith, fear, and survival. Families lived in small wooden houses, warmed only by firelight, while the vast forests around them were seen as dark, dangerous, and full of the unknown. It was a place where religion shaped every thought, every rule, and every punishment. But it was also a place where fear could turn into hysteria, and hysteria could destroy lives. It began with whispers, strange behaviors among young girls, fainting, trembling, convulsing, and screaming in the night. Parents feared disease, but the local doctor could find no natural cause. His verdict was chilling: witchcraft. With that single word, fear gripped the town. Salem became a place where the devil himself was believed to walk among men. As days passed, the accusations began. A child pointed to a neighbor. A servant cried out against her mistress. Suspicion spread faster than fire. Those who were strange, those who were different, or those who simply did not fit the Puritan way of life became targets. Families who once prayed together now feared one another. Neighbors turned into enemies, and old grudges turned into deadly charges of witchcraft. The courtroom became the center of fear. Inside, candlelight flickered against the wooden walls as judges dressed in black robes sat high above the accused. One by one, men and women were brought forward, their hands chained, their faces pale with terror. They were asked to confess to crimes they never committed. They were told to name others, to spread the accusations further, to save themselves by condemning friends, neighbors, even family. Silence meant guilt. Denial meant guilt. And so the trials grew larger and the hysteria deeper. In the streets, people gathered in crowds. Some shouted for justice. Some wept. Others watched silently, too afraid to speak, terrified that one wrong word might put them on trial next. Fear had become the law. The gallows stood waiting. On a foggy hill, a wooden platform rose above the town. From it, ropes swayed in the cold wind, ready to claim lives. Those accused of witchcraft were led in chains, step by step, toward their fate. Mothers, fathers, daughters, and sons, crying out that they were innocent. But innocence no longer mattered. Fear demanded sacrifices, and Salem delivered them. As bodies were lowered into the ground, the village grew darker. At night, people whispered that the spirits of the dead walked the streets. Lanterns swayed in the mist, and ghostly shapes were said to drift between the houses. Some claimed to hear voices in the forest, low, whispering, echoing in the trees. Whether these were ghosts or simply the imagination of a terrified people, no one could be sure. But the fear was real. The silence of the village at night was filled with its own guilt. By dawn, Salem had changed forever. The laughter of children was gone. Trust between neighbors had vanished. Wooden crosses marked the graves of the innocent, standing in lonely fields surrounded by fog. Ravens perched on them watching, as though guarding the secrets of the dead. And as time passed, the hourglass of history recorded every moment. Each grain of sand, another life lost, another injustice committed. When the last trials ended, When the last rope fell still, the people of Salem were left with only shame and sorrow. The Salem Witch Trials remain one of the darkest chapters in American history, a story not only of fear and superstition, but of how quickly humanity can turn against itself when fear is allowed to rule. It is a reminder carved into the past, a warning to all generations that truth must rise above fear, that justice must rise above hysteria, and that history never forgets.